I'm Jake Hooker. I'm a dance teacher in the UK. Predominantly I teach ballroom and Latin. And I have a studio down in Brighton and Hove called Hove Dance Centre. The studio itself has been running for about, longer than 50 years now, but I recently took it over actually at the beginning of 2020, which was all of, it started off great, but then with everything that happened, we had to very quickly try and convert it into something a little bit different. I've been dancing now for about 16 years now, and I've gone through sort of like just dancing it as a young sort of like child, and then sort of like growing up around it, and then just getting into the grips of teaching and everything like that, and then here we are really. The studio's been doing as well as it can for certainly sort of like the last year. It's been difficult, but we've taken everything online, and that's where TeamUp's been great in terms of providing a good sort of service and platform to do that. It all started, I didn't know what TeamUp was. A local personal trainer actually told me about it. We during right at the very beginning, he was very, very quick to use it, and then I looked into it a little bit more, and I thought this is the type of sort of like software that would make things easier if I understood how to use it and utilize it in the right way. One thing I was looking at was how do we move to an online platform with it being easy of booking and tracking and payments and everything like that, calendar, having the usability of having different classes and things like that. And at the very beginning, I thought I could try and do that all through our website and use the the website's versions of booking and stuff like that. But the problem is with that is it was looking like it was going to be a bit buggy with trying to do classes and private lessons and things like that online. So what was really good was when I looked at TeamUp was the fact that I'd be able to use different things. So I could have it as a one person only feed, like for the class, or I could have it for a particular amount of people, or I could have it completely open and just let the class be as big as it needs to be, which was really useful for the fact that we have a range of things within our dancing industry. So we have private lessons, so one-to-ones, or if it's with a couple or whatever, our classes, but then also one of the big things that we have in dancing, especially with ballroom and Latin, is our social events. So that might be dancing socials. We've been a little bit more inventive within the year, so we did the pub quiz thing, we did bingo, we did an online karaoke thing, and with the karaoke thing, it was a bit funny because a lot of people were in the front of their room, and they're sort of performing it to a camera like this, and it didn't have quite necessarily the same effect, but it still worked. People enjoyed it, and then we had dancing along with it as well. It's allowed us to sort of do Q&As and sort of like panel things as well. Got a new thing in February that we're trying to plan on the back of what we started this month, going into 2021, which was the idea of a dancing festival, which hadn't necessarily been done in the same format. We've, over the last, since March last year, there have been online workshops, and that's nothing that's new. But what I wanted to try and do to kickstart a good 2021 and sort of forget about 2020 was to try and do something where we could engage a wider community that's not just my studio but everywhere else. And we came up with this idea of JanFest, which is basically from the 10th of January up until the 31st. We have something that's dance related. It might be a workshop, a Q&A, a workout, something that is which any dancer would utilize. We've backed it on more of our ballroom and Latin side of things, rather than any other style of dance, because that's what we're known for, and it's been really successful. I mean, it's been something that I didn't anticipate to be as big as it was. I thought that internally it'd be a great opportunity for my pupils to see and also meet other dance teachers that they see on the circuit. But we put it in place that we could set up, discount codes and things like that for the lecturers, so the teachers coming in, so that, their pupils could come in at basically a sort of reduced rate, and likewise within our studio. And we sort of put things in either sort of a drop-in, so you just do it as a one-on-one thing, or you could buy it in packages of, overall we've actually had 17 sessions for like lecturers and other teachers coming in. 16 of those have been proper workshops, and one of them has been a Q&A. So, we've had 16 like payable workshops from the 10th to the 31st, and then in the middle we've had sort of like workouts and things like that. And within that, people could buy anything from 4 to 8 to 16 for the whole thing, and it's been, and it's had a really mixed bag. That flexibility is something that I really liked within the TeamUp structure, because you can do it that way. You can assign a certain amount of pack purchases, and then you can allow people to book what they want to. So ideally with the software, it's made setting up this festival much easier, to just so that people can do it on their laptops, people can do it on their phones, and it's not difficult. It's quite self-explanatory. The buttons are really obvious. It's not sort of endless pages to get to what you're getting, and everything's all in a nice hub, and that's something I really liked as well. So if someone's booking on, because of the Zoom integration, when you book onto it and you've reserved your space or whatever, you can go back onto the app, and then you can find the links that you need to. But also, you when you sign up, you get the email that comes through as well. So there's lots of ways that it can connect people to make it easy to get onto Zoom, because I didn't want to get into a position where I was having to send codes out all the time and to different emails, because I think things can get lost. And very much getting into the start of like a Zoom thing, if it's a class or a chat, if you're missing a few people, they're going to be contacting you all the time to sort of get at you. So it's been quite good that everything's all been pretty streamlined, and ultimately that's been the wonderful thing about Zoom. And also collecting all the sort of money through one stream as well. Certainly as a business, it's easy when it's coming through one stream and not multiple streams altogether. You can set up the referral system in TeamUp for your clients, pupils, whatever. And I think that's quite good as well, because certainly within what we do as a dance thing, if you do a good class, a lot of people have multiple teachers and things like that, which is just part of the what we do. A lot of people have their one-off teacher that they go to on a regular basis, but some people like to sort of go and experiment with someone else. That if you were to do that, then that referral within people, it's a good incentive. It's like a loyalty card and things like that, which is great. Certainly from the business side of things, you can't complain when someone gets a little bit longer of a trial, because I know that there's sort of two different systems. You've got your regular sort of 30-day trial, but then using the referral one, they get for 45 days to really get going. And I actually think that it's great having a month and that 30 days, and I actually think you can do a lot of the learning and the setup work in that 30 days, but actually for it to spill over into that next month for other referrals and people trying the software out is great, because you can actually start planning a little bit more than a month, and that gives you that the scale to sort of see the differences in not necessarily when your busy times are, but it gives you maybe that first 15 days of really sort of utilizing and understanding and booking and setting it up how you want to, and then you use the 30 days extra or sort of after that 15 days to actually use it for your business. And ultimately I was pretty sold within the first week of using TeamUp. I was a bit sort of like, I got into it, I did the little things, I got things set up, and then I was like, okay, what else can I do? And that's what allowed me to ask the questions to the support team in the button, and they're really quick on responding. And certainly when I set up, it was great because there's that feeling where it seems that you want to you really want to, how do I describe it, the support team really do want to help you with all of your things, and it could be an outrageous request of like, how do I do this, how do I do it, and then they make it really simple. There's nice documents that they can send you, and you can call them very similar to a Zoom call or whatever, to talk about how to make things better, and they walk through it really simply. So ultimately that's been amazing. And again, that stems from all of the or background work that TeamUp do, allows businesses to really get what they want out of it, and there's always workarounds as well, and it's always pretty simple with things as well. So I can't speak highly of how TeamUp help businesses